Having an easy and smooth experience with ordering all your products and getting them in the door and having everything nice and early and you're prepared at your first show, nothing can replace that feeling, all right? You know, it's not quite as good as watching the kids rock out on the instruments, but it's like second best, right? Making sure that it was stress-free to get you there. Hello friends, it's marching band season. It is the beginning of the season here. We're getting into all the training, the learning. I know you have a whole lot on your plate, but we're here. We want to make your life a little bit easier in one way if we can. We're going to take a look today at the ordering schedule for all of your products for your show. That's your uniforms, your flags, your props, any of the stuff you're going to order that helps elevate the art form, gives your kids a better opportunity, right? And makes the whole thing a lot more fun. But one of the most important parts is that it doesn't drive you crazy trying to get this stuff ordered. Having an easy and smooth experience with ordering all your products and getting them in the door and having everything nice and early and you're prepared at your first show, nothing can replace that feeling, all right? You know, it's not quite as good as watching the kids rock out on the instruments, but it's like second best, right? Making sure that it was stress-free to get you there. So we're gonna take a look at the calendar today and look at uniforms, look at flags, props, and just take a look at when we should order all this stuff and kind of how we should prepare to give ourselves a smooth ride through the season. So let's just, for the sake of it, let's take September 20th, something right in the middle of September as like a big show that we want to make sure we really have everything for. You know, maybe we've been, we got through band camp and we've done our, shorts and a t-shirt, preview show or, our end of the band camp show. But let's say by September 20, we need to have everything. And this may be early or late for your band, but we can just take this whole calendar we're going to work on and you can adjust accordingly, all right? We'll make sure that it works like that for you. So if we're gonna make September 20 is big show day, right? And we need to have everything in-house by then. So let's take a look at uniforms first, all right? I don't want my uniforms to arrive the day before the show. That seems stressful. We're trying to avoid that, right? So I like to back up a minimum of 2 weeks, if not 3. That way they're in your band room, you can get them on the hangers, you can have all the kids try them on. If anybody needs a sleeve hemmed in or a bibber's hemmed up or anything like that, any little adjustment, you have time to do that stuff. You have time for the band parents to help you out and label them all and get them hung and organized right. That's priceless. That's the stuff that we're working on today, right? So we're not gonna receive them on the day before the show. That's the 19th. Instead, let's back up 3 whole weeks. So that's 1, 2, and then 3 to Friday the 29th. This is when I want to receive my uniforms, all right? So we're going to go unis right there, all right? That's receiving our uniforms on Friday the 29th. Now, uniform production differs from company to company. At Synced Up Designs, you're looking at 6.5 weeks to 8.5 weeks typically. Now, if you add a few days for shipping, we'll call that 7 to 9 weeks at Synced Up. So we're receiving them here on the 29th. Now, majority of groups who work with us are right in that 7-week. It all depends on what kind of uniforms you order, more complicated, less complicated. But let's just take 7 weeks as a nice round turn time. So if from the 29th, we're gonna back up 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 1st, 5, 6, 7. This means we need to order our uniforms right here. This is unis on July 11th. Okay, now you may see that date and just go, oh, but we never order them that early, right? Maybe you're not a September 20 group, but for the sake of this example, that's your 7 weeks plus a few weeks of buffer to get them on the hangers. This is the stress-free band director target, all right, for a show on September 20 is ordering them up here on July 11th. Now let's look at flags, okay? So for your flags, again, we're not gonna wanna receive them right here on the day before the show, So flags only take about 2.5 weeks to come in, right? So 1, 2, so we really could order them as late as September 2nd. Do we wanna do that and run it right up against it? I don't think so, right? Again, you're gonna want more time. You want that cushion time. So instead of ordering them on Tuesday the 2nd, let's back up another 2 to 3 weeks. Up here to August the 12th. Let's go. August the 12th is when we are doing flags, all right? And then our 2.5 weeks, 1, 2, we're gonna receive them. Oh, look at that, right about the same time as the uniforms. Now, you may want your show flags earlier for whatever reason, but just back it up a little further, right? Let's talk props next. Props, all right? Now with props, that few weeks of buffer can be very important because you need to actually mount the graphics onto the prop frames and you need to try them out on the field. Maybe you've got students moving them around on the field. That's part of your production. Maybe you've got parents who are going to help build frames or otherwise manipulate them, and they need to actually work with them. So again, that 2 to 3 week buffer, super important, right? So we're going to go backwards in time from the 19th, 1, 2, 3, around back to this same date. And for props, depending on if you get vinyl graphics or fabric graphics, 3 to 4 weeks. And let's be conservative. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we're ordering props right about here on August 1st, right? Boom. So if you follow this schedule, ordering your uniforms July 11th, ordering your props on August 1st, and ordering your flags on August 12th, they're all gonna land at the end of August here, around the 29th of August, and then you'll have 2 to 3 weeks before that first contest to really get everything ironed out. And you will join the stress-free band director club, or at least when it comes to this stuff. Can't control everything else, all right? So there may be other factors that make you want to back this up even more. A special flag or a special prop or even a special piece of the uniform that's really, integral, where all the kids need to learn how to work with it. Then maybe you do need to receive everything even earlier, and that could be a good reason to back up even further with your schedule. So in order to actually achieve getting your uniform order submitted by July 11th, for example, what are all the things that need to happen before that, right? This is the big part of the conversation. So far we've worked in these 3 months of the calendar. You're ordering and receiving and using, but what's everything before that, all right? Everything before that is going to be the art designs, right? You need to get those hammered out, whatever that is, fully approved for your uniforms, for your props, for your flags. You need to get all the sizes, and you need to get your payment or purchase order. So your payment or PO. All 3 of those things need to happen before this date, and this date when you're gonna place orders, right? So for sizing in particular, you may be looking at July 11th and saying to yourself, well, we don't even have band camp that early in July. We do the last 2 weeks. How am I gonna order them when I haven't even sized the kids? Well, for that reason, I think a great recommendation, if you have any participation, interest camps, your mini camps in late May or early June, this is a great time to size. 8th grader interest meeting where all the parents come for the first time just to even see if their kid wants to join band, even that can be a great time to take sizes. I mean, there's really no harm if a kid comes to the interest meeting and you take their measurements and then they don't join band or they don't follow through. Hey, whatever, we just toss that measurement out. On the other hand, if you wait until everything's fully set on August 1st, well, that's gonna be tough to get all the sizes then and get your order in time. All right, so these 3 things, art, sizes, and the payment or purchase order, these are the things that you're gonna wanna think about in May and June and July and just have a plan for. I hope that taking a look at this calendar today is gonna kind of ease your way through. Maybe you're a new director, or maybe you wanna make a change for your program and you just need to get other people on your side and get on board so that you can have the most stress-free season ever. Well, hopefully this is some good ammo for you to take to that conversation and get everybody on your side and make it the easiest season you've ever had. So thanks for joining us. I hope this was helpful, and stay tuned for even more from Synced Up.